Hey everybody, I'm Whitney and I'm here today to talk to you about some effective solutions that you could take that would possibly help you increase your work-life balance. And none other than the COVID-19 virus. So it's the best time to talk about it. So if you're wanting to learn more, let's chat. So the effects of the COVID-19 virus has had a widespread irritant that has awakened mental stressors like none other. This is the time now where we're in a basically a cognitive outpour. Our mental health is up and there's a lot of violence and things of that nature going on that we, would like to essentially tackle. Um, so the effects, the factors have had a significant impact on society and immerse our lifestyle in unimaginable circumstances. The pandemic could permanently alter work lifestyle as we knew in the past, as we're still trying to become accustomed to the transition of this new way of life. In doing so, certain questions have been raised, and hopefully we can try to work through these things to get some answers. Questions like, can work-life balance be achieved during this period? What is the first requirement to achieve this? Or should the first requirement be to focus on our mental strength and essentiality? In doing so, it's imperative to assess how your mental health affects your household. We have other people that are depending on us to help carry our family, to help carry, any other commitments or dedications that we have had. So we need to evaluate how these different factors will basically, you know, influence our behaviors and what can we do to prevent, negative outcomes. What are the additional things that are needed to stay afloat? The main thing is your mental um, sanity. So we need to tackle this to, keep moving on and progressing so that we are healthy and that we can be independent as we were before and just continue pushing through life. There are a few things that you can do to find the appropriate route to go. Um, and I'm working with some of these things as myself. So, if you want to learn more, let's continue to chat as we try to cope through these different mechanisms that would help increase our work-life balance. If you struggle to keep up with all your tasks during the pandemic, here's what you need to know. First things first, like I stated, we have to put ourselves first. Our mental stability is what's going to help us rely and carry on through, navigating through different aspects of work and life and our additional commitments that we have already pre-pandemic. Most importantly, what you want to do is take a minute to breathe. I know that sometimes we forget to breathe. We get so wrapped up in what we need to do, our daily duties, our tasks. We have to get school done. We have to get work done. We have assignments that seem like they're never ending and keep coming on. But what we need to know is that we have to first stop and take a breath and just basically decide efficiently what steps to go in different ways. Um, how does the theory of boundary management affect us? It affects us in a way that this is a theory that states that every individual is going to make their decisions for themselves, for their family. We all have different dreams and different aspirations. So, we are going to take our different thought processes. Nobody's going to be uniform. We're all going to be working sometimes in a trial by error manner, and we're just trying to figure out what our next step is. But we have to find a way that we can continue to carry on while we're being productive. Things that we need to do to basically continue to be effective in work and life. We need to set limitations in prioritizing our day. We need to find routines that we need to get, for me personally, I've been working from home for about 2 years and my balance has been off. I'm no longer functioning like I used to. I'm not getting out there and just hitting the pavement, being active and things of that nature. A lot of people become lazy and slouchy. So we want to get out of that mode. We want to, if we have to relocate ourselves into a better corner of our home or work style, then we need to do that. We need to do those things to try to help us become efficient. Um, my daughter, she's almost 2, and I've been breastfeeding for about 2 years now. And because I was working from home and it was easier for me to be in the bed, I was in the bed because, she would be near me. And if I would move, it would just be much of an easier job for me to just, let her roll over and we can just do our thing. But recently, I bought a desk. I got myself a corner in the house, and I have not seen that bed probably in about 3 or 4 months. It's just been, I've just been constantly, if I'm not doing work or school, I'm just on there doing something else. So I would just advise you just to find something that would suit you and to get you out there into your daily function, essentially. Um, don't be afraid to delegate duties. If it's something that's not for you, then we need to find a way to get them off our plate. If it's something that's going to bring us down, then we need to move in that nature and try to find somebody that, that can take over those roles while we're, tackling other issues, because we have now a host of issues that we're balancing from the day to day. And sometimes what we were doing before doesn't necessarily fit our schedule. So don't be afraid to try to delegate duties as necessary or eliminate them if they're not, essential. The Mayo Clinic suggests achieving, your effective work-life balance in various ways. And so one of the things I mentioned is by setting limitations and prioritizing your day. Do not overschedule yourself. You do not want to be afraid to say no, because for me, I was getting a lot of requests, and sometimes working from home is more than a job of working in a physical location, because people feel like you're not doing anything, and so they want to just keep giving you different duties. And so I have learned how to say no. I do not have time for it. I'll try to prioritize my day to fit it in, but at that moment, everything cannot be done. And I don't, we have to learn how to say no sometimes. We want to detach ourselves from work. It's easy for me to just stay online because I'm at work all day, literally. So I have to, what I've done is I've started disabling Teams. I've started, closing out my email, even if I'm staying on my work computer to do school things or whatnot. You have to detach. You cannot be connected, because if you're connected, you will never have time to mentally recuperate. The pandemic has definitely affected everyone in a nature. At the beginning of the pandemic, I had a daughter right on the cusp of the pandemic. She is almost 2. She'll be 2 next month. And I had her in January, and towards the end of January, I believe, when all of this stuff started happening in 2019, 2020. Actually, 2020, my apologies. It's almost 2022, and I'm still working from home for 2 years now, and it has its ups and its downs, but it definitely is a working experience. Also, last year, my daughter was in the 2nd grade. I became a 2nd grade teacher. Sometimes I was relied upon heavily while I was working and couldn't, really just help. I would lack in one aspect. I would lack in either helping her during school or lack in work. So I learned how to try to take some of those things that the Mayo Clinic suggests and incorporate them into my daily lifestyle to continue to fully function. Also, I'm not sure why I had the grand idea, but I did re-enroll in school, trying to complete my bachelor's degree. And this is a struggle in itself when you have children, but when you're under the adversities of a pandemic, I mean, it's so difficult. But these are things that everyone is dealing with. We have to find what works for us so that we can continue to push forward and push through in our daily lifestyle. The last tip I would have is, don't be afraid to speak up. It's imperative on your mental status. I spoke up. Sometimes it's a challenge, sometimes it's a struggle, but I do let you know, hey, I have too much going on, or can you help out on this area, because I'm lacking in school, I'm up against a test, I have something to turn in. So do not be afraid to speak up. That is definite. We also want to indulge in self-care. You want to take care of yourself. That's the way that you can be happy with yourself. So whatever you like to do, whatever your favorite hobby is, whatever, if you like to just take a walk in the park, or if you want to just step outside and take a breather every now and then, you're obligated to do that to keep your mental health going. And whatever your quirk is, I would just encourage you to nurture on that so that you can keep your progress and don't feel so boggled down with the mechanisms of the pandemic. In addition to, your work-life balance, whatever you do. A lot of people are working from home, so this may hit you in a different area. You might be working essentially out in the environment, but we have to find a way to just step away from our barricades and just focus on ourselves every now and then. Last but not least, I would just say, remember, everybody, you got this, just keep going with the flow. If you take all those different things in from, the Mayo Clinic and from the boundary management theory, I believe that everybody will be a success. Um, we've established how these things help increase a healthy work-life balance, and that we know that it's very cumbersome. So whatever we can do to overcome these barriers together, I would just recommend that we keep pushing forward. I want you to remember that it is definitely achievable, under those guidelines of those two theories and disciplines that I gave you. Everything is achievable. Just, also take a step. Remember to relax, enjoy your life, be thankful that you're here, and just try to create a routine that can help you just get out there and keep it pushing. In doing so, this will give you the greatest chance at tackling the stresses of work-life balance, especially when faced with the rigors of the pandemic. I wish all you guys well. I'm Whitney Hill, and I hope you guys succeed in everything that you choose to do. Thank you. Have a good night.